Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Meadsy69. Welcome back to the channel. Now, today we are going to look at the Smasher because it's been a while since we've had a look at the Smasher. It's not really talked about as much as it used to be. Of course, it used to be as broke as hell, and everybody would hate coming up against the Smasher. In fact, if you played the Smasher, the likelihood of you getting abuse is like 80%, maybe even more than that. Especially, I think it goes up to around about 90% if you are tuning in a Smasher. It's it's a fun tank to play. It really is a fun tank to play. Obviously, the reason why it is so good is the alpha and the damage and how it can just change a game. Now, for me, the only problem with the Smasher is the penetration values. Now, it should really be known as the tier 7 KV2 because that is what it is. However, this wipes the KV2 all over the park, literally, and more so because of the penetration. Now, because of the HE pen, you should be running it with calibrated shells because you need as much penetration as you can. So the DPM for what it is actually very good at 2,300. It should be a lot lower. It should be a lot lower than that. Now, the penetration, obviously the AP sucks. The AP pen does really suck at 147. However, the heat pen, because you're also running it with calibrated shells, is 275. Now, your heat pen, as I've stated a few days ago, is actually more than the penetration on the IS6 premium round. The IS6 premium round, I think, is 270. So this is 275. So you have more pen than a tier 8 premium, their premium shell. So yeah, 275 is enough to get through anything that you are coming up against. Now, you should not really be using AP in this tank. Like, really, you shouldn't be using it. Of course, there might be some tanks in tier 6 heavy, maybe not all, mediums, that you might have to pen, that you can't pen with HE, that you may be able to use the AP. So you've got 94 pen on your HE, so of course you need to use that as much as you can. Now, your standard AP pen is, alpha is 640. Your heat is 545 and your HE is 960, which is why you need to shoot as much HE as you possibly can. Aim time 4.6 and the dispersion is 0.407. So of course, them two pretty much suck. But you want to be shooting as much HE as you possibly can. That's without saying. So we're just going to get into some games. We're going to see if we can have any really good rolls. Of course, sometimes the like this shot, it does kind of. You think you can pen, but you only splash when you're shooting the HE. But we still do 424 damage. Now, of course, you want to be coming up behind, which is why I'm going to the middle here. You want to be coming up behind. Now, we're going to have a nice, juicy shot there on the T54 lightweight. Over 1,000 damage. Over 1,000 damage done to that lightweight. And that is a tier 8 tank. That is pretty much all we do. But when you, even when you're doing only that damage, I don't really mind. I don't really mind because it's just amazing. You know, it's just it feels amazing when you do that kind of damage. But of course, there are some situations where most of the time actually, where you do come up against tier 8s. And if there's tier 8 heavies, yes, then you're not really going to be able to use that HE. You're going to have to use a lot of heat. But even if you're shooting heat, then you're still going to do a lot of damage. You're still going to do quite a bit of damage. Now, this shot is my own fault. I should have just took it there. But I wanted to aim and I wanted to make sure that I penned the side of that SU-100Y. If I did, he would have literally been wiped out of the game straight away. Now, also, the Smasher does have a little bit of armor, which is what you can see there. You are able to bounce some shots. Of course, you're not going to bounce as many if you are up against tier 8s. Of course, that's just not going to happen. But you can bounce some of these shots, especially if you are up against some tier 6s. So we're just going to get rid of that guy nice and easy. So we have bounced 500 damage. We're only on 500 damage at the moment. Let's just fast forward it a little bit because there's nothing to shoot at. So we're just going to go forward. Now, at this point, there are 2 tanks down. We've got 1 tank down, but it's still not over yet. Now, there are going to be some situations as well where you're just going to fire. Even though it's only HE and you're going to do splash damage, you should still be using that HE. Now, we did switch to the heat there because we was able to pen the thunder there with heat. Now, as I've said at the beginning, using heat, you should be able to penetrate most things. Now, we're going to come up behind this SMV. Goodbye. See you later. Go back to the garage. And I said, like, this game, yeah, maybe so. We probably would have won it anyway. But sometimes when it's in like a 4 versus 4 situation, that one shot there doing 1,000 damage to the back of that tank, it does change the outcome of the game. But you know, there's nothing better than driving around in 2 smashers and just absolutely causing havoc and just destroying them. I love it. I think it's fun. Again, coming up behind him, nice HE, and we do manage to clear that guy. So I'm not going to stop playing it. I know there are some people out there that refuses to play the Smasher just because it is completely broken. Literally, it is completely broken. But people don't talk about the Smasher as much now than they did back in the day. But it is still the same tank. It is still the same tank. Now, we're going to have a stupid shot there because we had to use the heat. We only done 494 damage. But 494 damage is still not bad at all. Now, the T29 is pretty much dead. We're going to come out. Do we just splash him? Yes, we do, because we have enough alpha just to clear that guy with our HE. So now we're going to move on and we're going to go for the next target. Now, the Tiger 2 is pretty much all on his own. Now, there is, what, 4, 5? There's 5 of us all around this side of the map. Now, we're going to come up to the side of the Tiger, and we are actually able to pen the side of him with AP. So we do clear him for our second kill. So the Smasher very rarely comes. So if you don't have a Smasher, you're not probably going to get one, maybe for a long time. Now, the SMV looks very sexy. Again, we do over 900 damage, and that is what this tank can do. And even that one shot there against that guy, that now brings him down to a 1 shot. It's a 5 versus 5, but that one shot there into the rear of that guy could have actually changed the outcome of this game, and that is what the Smasher is capable of doing. Now, if you've got 2 of these in a platoon rolling together, aiming at the same tank, then it is fun. It really is fun. Getting behind these guys, doing 5, even 600 damage. Now, that shot there, ignore that, because that was my fault. But yeah, rolling up behind someone, and even against tier 8s, doing sort of 600-700 damage each, it wipes them out. 1 shot each, and it literally wipes them out. And this is why this tank is really, really fun to play. But it is quite hard to get your hands on the Smasher. It doesn't ever really come for sale. You can only get it in crates, unfortunately. But Christmas is around the corner. I'm sure it will come back in crates very, very soon. So if you don't have one, then hopefully sometime soon you should be able to get your hands on one. But again, that is really only in crates. So I don't think Wargaming is ever going to just sell this for gold, like 10,000 gold. I don't think so. But they could even put this at 20k gold, if I'm honest, and they would probably still sell it. But for now, hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. I'm Meadsy69, and I will catch you all soon. Bye-bye. With